Hello, money queens and listeners. Welcome to Women Behind the Millions. Let's meet the women behind the millionaires, the women supporting, guiding, celebrating women with their wealth. You will hear from women millionaires, how they got there, what they wish they had known, what got them to be a millionaire, the emotional side, the spiritual side, the practical side of wealth. You'll also get to meet the women behind the scenes helping make it happen. Let's dive into Women Behind the Millions. I am Jessica Weaver, your host, best-selling author of 3 books, wealth advisor, and founder of the Women's Wealth Boutique. Let's start meeting the women. Hey, it is Jessica Weaver, your host here at Women Behind the Millions, where we talk all things power, pink, and prosperity. And we're going to add in an extra P today for protection. We have the guru all around protection with us today, one of our fearless trendsetters from our newest book, Financial Trendsetters, with us today. And just to set up the scene, set up the episode for tonight, you know, we always start with a mantra, a prayer, something that really kind of grounds the episode and what it's all about. And I couldn't decide today, so I'm going to give you 2. And this is from a really good book. I read it back to back twice in a row. And I read it every few months, every few years, depending on when I really am pulled to it. The Divine Law of Compensation. It's going to blow your world. It's not what you think at all. And really goes into how money is an energy. Everything is an energy. Everything has a frequency. And what is your current frequency energy when it comes to money? I was doing this work with my coach yesterday, actually, and realizing how many of my family members' frequencies I took on. And that's what happens. You don't even realize it, but you're vibrating at a certain way with money. You have a money container, and maybe the money container is $100,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, and you're stuck in that container. You really are. I mean, you can picture yourself stuck in that container. Like there's this invisible wall that you cannot penetrate. And a lot of the times it's because, one, that's all that you know. So it's very comfortable. We stay in this container because it feels safe. It feels comfortable. Because outside of that seems impossible, overwhelming. But there are ways, there's different tools. We get into those tools in our show, and a quick shout out to a huge resource for it, my Confessions of a Money Queen book. And I'm giving you the QR code right here, right now, to get the free audiobook of it. And I encourage you to do it because a lot of the tools, actually 10 of them, that had helped me to expand my own money container are in there, along with money meditations. And we are going to do a meditation at the end of our show tonight. But really, you think about, how do we expand this money container? And a lot of it is giving those energies of money that are low back to the people who put them on us. And it might have been somebody that made you not feel worthy enough, or criticized you in public, or abused you, put you down. Maybe it was a sibling that was jealous of you, or a parent that was jealous of you. So you played down a lot of your gifts to keep the peace in the house. Maybe you became a people pleaser or an overgiver. You didn't feel worthy, so you gave and you gave and you gave, and you still give and give and give until this day. And so you're so spent, you're energetically spent, you have nothing left to give. And the thought of earning more money means spending more energy, and there's nothing left to give. How many of you can resonate with that? It's too exhausting. I can't do it. I can't take on more clients. I can't take on more work. I'm too exhausted. And it's a people pleaser. And I'm guilty of this too. I'm a people pleaser. My lesson of 2023 was how to get rid out of the people pleasing mode and being so over generous and not having enough boundaries. But another piece of it is the faith and the belief. So I'm going to read you 2 things from this book, Divine Law of Compensation. But faith isn't blind, it's visionary. Having faith in a positive outcome doesn't mean you're denying a problem or ignoring obstacles. It simply means you're affirming a solution. Our faith itself is a potent force. We increase a thing's power by increasing our belief in its power. things work out because you believe they're going to work out. Things don't work out because you believe it's not going to work out. That's what you're putting out there. Our world is a reflection of what's happening on the insides, on the internal world. Starting with our thoughts, we get thousands of thoughts a day. 95% of them are repetitive thoughts. We are on a loop over and over again. Becoming more aware of these thoughts is 90% of the work. Becoming very disciplined and filtering through those thoughts is 90% of the work, just that awareness alone. But I bring up faith and belief because I've seen it with my own work. If I believe something's not going to work out, guess what? It's not going to work out, right? That's what I'm putting out there. That's the energy. If I believe something is going to work out, I believe with every ounce of my body it's going to work out, it will work out. And that's really how miracles are started. And the amazing thing is there's no difficulty in the order of miracles. You go to the Course of Miracles book. There's no difficulty in the order of miracles. You can have a miracle that's finding a penny on the ground, or you can have a miracle where you get $1 million check. Neither one of them, one is more difficult than the other, which is, to me, so exciting, so amazing as well. So with that, we're going to bring on to our stage here, Teri DiGrande. She and I met a few years ago, and hello, Teri.
Hey, Jess, how are you?
Welcome back to Women Behind the Millions. So excited for you to be here. One of our financial trendsetters in our newest book, Financial Trendsetters, revolutionizing the role women play in building wealth. And exactly why you're here, Teri, for your role that you have played in building your career and your business and helping women build wealth and especially protect wealth.
Yes.
As well. You have been an insurance agent for 37 years and an entrepreneur business owner for 13 and a half years.
Yes, I'm getting old, Jess. I'm getting old.
For women, like I see women, and this is one of my favorite things as my job is as women come into their own. They own it. They know their worth. They're stepping up. They're becoming more fearless. They're taking more risk. They're showing up in a whole new way, a whole new light. And to me, it's a spiritual maturity. It's a confidence, right? It's their whole aura around them, their energy as well. So when you say I'm like, no, you are coming into it.
I'll tell you though, it took a lot of years to come into it though. You were just talking about it. And as you were talking about it, I was like, everything you just said about this book, right? And I wrote it down. I'm like, I've got to read that. Everything you just said resonated so wholeheartedly with me. People pleasing, giving and being exhausted, right? That so resonated with me. And it took me a long time to feel that confidence. But it's a lesson learned, and much of it has to do with the women in this book. And it's true though. It's finding your crew. And I talk a little bit about that in my chapter, but it's really finding your crew of women to find that confidence. It's so true. Everything you just said.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with the right people. I swear. And sometimes we'll ask God, I want confidence. It's like, okay, here's the confidence. And you get some people saying, oh, thank you for the work you did. You transformed my life. You changed everything. We're hitting our goals. But then you get this person that comes in. You can have 10 people complimenting you, and you get that one person, that one naysayer, that one negative person who's never happy, Teri. They're never happy anyway.
Yeah.
And it shuts you down. And then you think, well, let me give more. I'll prove them wrong. Let me give them more. Let me show up even more for them. And that exhaustion, that people pleasing. And I learned 2023, I learned you need to run away from those people as fast as possible because they will take everything from you and leave you exhausted, and they're not going to say thank you.
That's right.
Either.
And do you think that's a woman thing? Because I don't think a man would let that one person get to them. I think as women, we take that internally and we digest that. But yeah, you're right.
It doesn't feel business. It feels very personal to us. And you're right. I think women get caught up in people pleasing and overgiving a lot more than men. And it probably stems from, childhood and even how our mothers grew up. And we know we have different cycles than men as well, right? Men, their cycle is like 24 hours. And ours is a 30-day cycle. We know this as women. It's a 30-day cycle. And we're taught to don't pay attention to it. Just push through. Don't let it dictate your life. But we know there are times that we need rest.
It's true, but we're built to go. We've got the energy, it's exhausting, quite frankly. At some point we don't complain about it too often, right? So
we don't. That's why I love this show. And I love the book because you hear women in their real life stories, and every woman got very vulnerable in sharing their story and what they learned from it. And that's what I want to get into with you today, Teri. I want to ask you, looking back over your 30 plus year career, over it as a business owner, what have you seen in yourself be the biggest difference from the Teri, let's say 15 years ago, to the Teri right here with us today?
Well, it is just that. It's the confidence. I mean, I remember my very first year here, and it was, I cried every single day. My first year, there was not one day that went by that I didn't cry and think. The very first day I cried in happiness. And thereafter it was, what did I get myself into, right? Mm-hmm. The first 5 years, my accountant was like, you need to close the business. You're not going to survive. And I was like, well, this was my passion all along. Of course I'm going to survive. I need to survive. I want this. But financially, I was not meant to do this. And so here I am doing, quite well, thankfully. I'm knock on wood as I say that, but I had to bulldoze through just to prove everybody wrong that I could do this. But there was no way in hell. My accountant, said, there's no way you're going to do this. And I think because of the support of those around me, and again, I go back to, you've got to find the support group, those that support and it's more than just that. It's believing in yourself. It's knowing your weaknesses, right? I know where my weaknesses are. And to this day, I still know where my weaknesses are. And I still try to work on them, and I still can't. I'm still having trouble, and I still take classes and still learning to learn. I'm still learning. You have to keep learning every day.
As a business owner, we are constant state of learning. There's something new, a new frontier every single day.
That's swear. Right. And I'm still learning to learn. I say that in a sort of sarcastic way, but I was not a good student growing up. So I'm learning how to learn every single day. So it's kind of forced on me. My mom always made a joke. She's like, you did so poorly in school. This is your payback. So.
But that's a big difference. The successful business owners, what we've seen here on this show, they will invest in their learning. They embrace it. They're open to it as well. And I don't know if you ever heard this, Teri, but good entrepreneurs historically are very bad in school. It's too structured for them. And they'll say, look at the kid that's looking out the window daydreaming, who gets B's and C's, maybe some D's. They have dreams, they have thoughts, they're letting their mind run rampant, they're more creative, and they're not striving for the perfection that is what the teacher's telling them is perfection. Those people are very good in a corporate environment, getting to-do lists and accomplishing them. But entrepreneurs tend not to be as good in schoolwork or in that structured disciplinarian format.
That's so interesting.
And it's kind of sad too, because so much of the confidence is beaten down in them during those years. We need to find a better structure for them.
That's very interesting, yeah.
For them to grow. What surprised you about yourself, Teri, through this journey?
The amount of success that I found, to be perfectly honest, is just, I'm a relationship.
Sexy to me.
Yeah, the amount of success that I found. I find the more, and I'm sure you've heard this before, the more success that you have, the more you want,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do you find that as well, right? The goal just keeps getting higher and higher each year, which is also a little bit frustrating because when is enough?
When is
At
enough?
what
Have you
point are
figured
you
that out for yourself?
satisfied? Pardon?
Have you figured that out for yourself yet, Teri?
No,
When is
no,
enough?
I haven't. I haven't. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I, I'm not satisfied yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing well, but there's, I'm not, I'm not the best, but I like to learn from the best each time. So, and again, that goes back to surrounding yourself with the right people. I have a great core of it within my study groups. So I continue to learn so I can pass that on. So I think that that's important too, being able to, push it forward to others. That's,
Oh,
that's kind of
yeah.
my goal.
Oh, yes. It's beautiful. When is enough? I have noticed with you, you do seem to travel a good amount and exploring different places of the world, not just the country, but the world
Yeah.
too. Is that part of that success vision for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, part of it is being able to take time for yourself and your family when I wasn't able to do that growing my career,
Mhm.
working so much. But yeah, now it's a little time. Most of the travel that I do is awards from the company and business trips that I'm able to take my
Mhm.
family with. So a little bit of both, right?
Mhm.
Enjoying a little bit of the both of, and I have my passion being music, so I get out a little bit, taking the time with friends and family, doing seeing concerts, etc. Um, but yeah, I get to enjoy a little bit of travel during the year. So we have a couple of trips coming up this year as well.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know that about you with music. Very cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. What about, let me go to my list. I had so many questions I wanted to ask you. What's something that you wish you had known when you started out with your business? Because we have a lot of people who watch the show that like, maybe I'll do my own thing. Maybe I'll step out. I'll launch my own business. And you who've been successful at it, been running it for over a decade, which is huge in the entrepreneur business owner world, especially as a woman in a male dominated industry. I will add in there as well. What did you wish you had known?
There's so many things, Jess. There's so many things. Again, I'm still learning. One of the biggest lessons that I learned, well, one of the biggest lessons that I learned is you don't have to be in the office every day, right? Let your team, you don't micromanage, let your team grow. I don't have to be here. My job is really to bring in the business, right? So teach them, delegate, learn how to delegate. That's a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Very hard lesson to learn. And track and measure results, which I still have a very, very hard time doing. It's almost like reconciling your checkbook, right? If you don't track, you get the results that if you're not. What is the word track? The tracker gets what the tracker checks or something, right? It's very silly, but it's true.
Yeah.
If you're not checking, you're going to get poor results. So I still have a problem with that. I'm not very detail oriented. I'm much more of the builder here. So the foundation. I built the
I agree.
foundation, and now I've got to walk away and let my staff do a much better job. And I have a hard time with that. I was never a manager before I opened, so I'm still learning how to be a better leader to the staff. I want them to grow, and I want to be able to push them and make them entrepreneurs as well.
Yes, giving them the very much a balancing act of giving them the support structure that they need to grow,
Right.
and then enough freedom to see how they're going to flourish and make it their own
Exactly.
as well. I hear that.
I would love that. I would love to have one or two people go on and be an entrepreneur themselves and just help them get to that point.
Yes. Oh, that could be a whole nother stage of your business.
Exactly.
Very
Yeah.
cool, Teri. Very cool. What do you think was the tipping point? You talked about the beginning years, your accountant told you need to close down. What was the tipping point that really got you over the cusp into what you felt was a successful business? And what was that? Can you pinpoint that year or month or quarter where it really started to change for you?
I can pinpoint probably the day where I had to tell my husband.
Okay.
He had no idea I was in debt, and I had to tell him. I had to open up my checkbook and be like, "We're in a lot of debt." He had no idea. So that was a very poignant point in my career where I had to be honest with him and say, we're in $124,000 debt. And he said, okay, here's what we're going to do about it. And he was very calm. And at that point, it was not about giving up. It was about moving forward, but moving forward profitably. And helping me make changes within the business, within the structure, and, consolidating debt and talking to folks like yourself. Here's what we're going to do about it and moving forward. And I'm either going to make it or break it. And that was the decision. So yeah, I can pinpoint, you're either going to give up on your dream or you're going to move forward.
Yeah. Instead of staying in that in between spot, we're like,
that's right.
Feels like everything's falling apart. Everything's another hit to the chin.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Right? You make that decision in your life. You're going to give up on something that you've worked so hard for. And I was hiding debt. I was taking Peter to pay Paul. Sure. I was opening loans that he had no idea about. Everything was in my name. So you're going to make that choice. And I finally made the choice. I was telling friends, I'm in debt. What do I do? And everybody would be like, you've got to talk to your husband about it. He has no idea. I'm like, no, I need to do something. And he was so gracious about it. He was so wonderful about it. And it was at that point I was like, we've got to make this work.
Yeah, you probably learned a lot about your marriage in that moment as well.
He's amazing. Yeah. So
you had your husband's support. Was there anybody else in your world at that time that was really helping you get the pieces together in alignment so that you can flourish in this business?
Yeah, I do. I mentioned it earlier. I've got a study group that we meet once a month now, and we get together and we go to a lot of the meetings and incentive programs together. We all qualify for the same things together. I'm probably the low man on the totem pole, if you will. The woman on the totem pole, if you will.
That's good, though. That's what you want to be in those rooms, right? Where there's more success.
Yeah. Yes and no. But
will imposter syndrome creep up on there, Teri?
I do have imposter syndrome. Absolutely, 100%. But I learned so much from them, and they're the ones that keep me going. And they're the ones that have helped me over the last several years. I call them on Sunday mornings. Hey, I've got this situation with a customer. How do I handle it? I don't know how anybody gets by in a business without having those people that you could reach out to.
That's a great one. Yep. Yeah, finding the right tribe.
You probably have mentors like that yourself in your business. I'm sure you do.
I do. Yes, I believe, right? People above me that have reached the success that I want to get to, and then peers that are there with me, and then mentoring the next generation as well. I feel like it should be above us, around us, and
that's right.
Not below us, but we're lifting up that next generation.
Side by side. That's right. That's right. Exactly.
Oh, beautiful, Teri. So many people can relate to what you're going through. So many, we're scared to let our husbands in on it, feeling like, I took this risk on and now I feel like I'm feeling the family, the household.
That's right.
And it probably was more nerves leading up to it than actually having the conversation, and then you get to move forward.
Yeah, and maybe some other people are going through it now where they're considering a job change, and what does that look like, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you've got to make the decision one way or the other, and sometimes change is for the good, and you won't know until you do it. So.
Change is for the good. We have a quote from my second book, something about change isn't just, it's one of the most permanent things in our life is change, but it also can be what makes our life profitable. There are ways that you can really thrive during those moments of change as well.
Absolutely.
We have 2 trivia questions for you, Teri. We just, yes, we do not let them know we have trivia. Trivia provided by Sarah, our paraplanner at the Women's Wealth Boutique. I think you're going to do great. But especially since you've primarily focused a lot on protection assets, so property and casualty, home, autos, liability, life insurance, disability, across the board. So, Teri, what is the main purpose of property and casualty insurance? A, to protect people from losses due to a fire. B, protect if unexpected property damages arise. C, replace lost or stolen property. Or D, all of the above.
Well, Jess? The answer is D, all of the above.
Beautiful, beautiful. This is a good question. Legally, this is true or false? Legally, if you own your home outright, you do not need homeowners insurance. True or false?
Well, that is actually true, but I don't recommend it.
Yes. Why take on the liability yourself and pay out of pocket for it?
That is correct. Yes.
Yourself. Oh, very good. Well, thank you, Sarah, for always providing.
Good job, Sarah.
Yes.
That's a great job.
We are going to take a quick break. Stay with us because Teri's going to go into her money tip, her financial trend as well. And we have a little sneak peek for our new book, our new anthology book that Teri's one of our authors of Financial Trendsetters. Awesome, Teri. So we have this incredible book that's coming out, Financial Trendsetters. Kiriko was just there. We'll have it on again as well. 15 of these pioneering, trailblazing women in the financial industry, advisors, insurance agents, VPs, presidents, consultants, all across the board. What are you most excited about this book?
God, this is a group of rock stars. It's an amazing group, right? I can't wait to read everybody else's stories. I've gotten a little hint of what's going on in this book, but wait until you get a hold of this. There, like you said, there are VPs in there, COOs, CFOs. This is a wealth of knowledge from folks around the industry, from everybody. This is going to be a bestseller. This is absolutely a bestseller.
Oh yeah, we're excited. And all the book proceeds are going to fund a scholarship to bring more women into the financial industry on top of it. So we'll get everyone the information. We're going to have a gala here in New Jersey in May to raise more money. We have a shopping day in New York City. We're going to be on a Times Square billboard. We're going to be ringing the NASDAQ bell. We have so many fun things going on when it comes to this book, but it's so much more. It's the stories. It's a legacy. We call it a revolution because we're changing the game of wealth. We're bringing more women into it. We're more united than we've ever been before in here as well.
This is going to inspire other women, truthfully.
Yes.
To get into our industries.
Oh, I hope so. I'm glad you said that. I hope so. Whatever we need to do. And did you start right off the bat in the industry, Teri?
I did. Why would you ask that 37 years?
I'm thinking that. I'm like, and maybe you had a job for a month and then you switched. But you probably see a lot of women come into the industry. It's their second career. Right. They were a teacher. I'm a lawyer. I've heard that a bunch of times. They were corporate side.
That's right.
And then maybe a life event happened to them or their parent. And then they wanted to take back. It was like more, we thought like life happens to us. And then, life is happening for me. And I'm going to use this moment to empower myself to get educated, to get involved, to understand my finances. And then I get to show other people how to do it as well. And guide them along the path too. What makes you love property and casualty so much, Teri?
It's not about the business. It's about help. I know it sounds so cliche. It is truly about helping people. When somebody comes over and for me, it's about the relationship, building the relationship. It's not about 15 minutes and saving money. It has nothing to do, anybody can do that. But when you're explaining what coverages mean, and it's about assets and liabilities, and I know you mentioned we were going to talk a little bit about, financial trends and helping people save, and it is about your portfolio. It's exactly about what you do every single day, Jess, and specifically what you do, right? It should be about your entire portfolio because one car accident, you can lose everything. And to me, that is so important. Because I didn't work every single day of my, career to get to where I am, to have an accident and lose everything I've worked for. Yes. Or one fire in my house and think that, I'm fine. And I didn't want to spend 15 minutes to protect it, to lose everything. So for me, it's very important to have that conversation with somebody to protect my largest assets. That's why. And I have those conversations and explain it to everybody. And I say to them, I'm not planning on spending 10 minutes with you. My conversations will run longer, and I don't apologize for it. That's it.
Because it's complicated. You have money, you have houses. I mean, your biggest asset is usually your house, or one of the largest. Why
Correct.
wouldn't you make sure there's plenty of coverage in there to protect the house? And then that could ripple over to your other assets.
Correct.
You could work 30 years to save up $1 million for retirement, and then one car accident.
That's it.
Completely derail. And it could be your kids driving or your parents that are on your.
Yes. And we've seen it, right? I mean, I've been in the industry, like you said, a long, long time. I've seen it. So I don't apologize for the time I spend with customers. Is this going to be long? You know what? It might be. It depends on what we get to talk about. But if you've got assets, we're going to talk about it.
But it could save from another 30 years of having to save up again to replace.
Exactly right. And then I refer them back to their financial advisor, because if you've got things we've got to protect, right? I don't mean things. I mean money. I mean the non-monetary intangibles that we've got to protect. We've got to talk about your entire portfolio.
Yes. What would you say is one of the most overlooked areas of protection when it comes to property and casualty?
It is your intangibles, right? So it's probably your personal injury. It's everybody just thinks price when they come in. They talk about price. Well, and then they say, well, I just didn't realize that I needed that. Or sometimes they're overinsured and they didn't realize. And then I'm like, well, we need to talk about this. You probably don't need this coverage anymore. Maybe you're retired and we can downsize some of these coverages. And that could be on the homeowner's insurance. So, or the inflationary piece of the homeowners. So the homeowners goes up every year. And sometimes if we don't look at that every couple of years, or you've been with an insurance company or broker and they're not checking that every couple of years, that can skyrocket. So sometimes we're able to reduce that without even, just a conversation. So yeah, some things that I love sitting down with customers, because if they haven't met with their insurance agent for several years, there's a whole policy out there that we can talk about and reduce and make some changes on. New endorsements, new discounts, new products. Yeah, I love it. That is truly my passion.
Yeah. Protecting them, their loved ones, the house, their assets, their retirement, all of it.
That's right.
It's so important. And people think I just need this for the mortgage or the car loan or for the big what ifs, but it happens all the time.
That's the time. Right. Or I don't need renter's insurance. I don't care about my stuff. It's not about your stuff. It's about your liabilities outside of the house, right? Protecting yourself.
Right? That's so good. That's very true, Teri. We're going to go into your hot money tip. What would be your hot money tip today, Teri, for all the ladies watching?
The hot money tip is just that. It's make sure you're meeting with whether it's your insurance agent or your broker, because again, going back to this is your portfolio. And if you're talking about those three numbers that are on your liability, whether it's 25, 50, 100, 100, 300, whatever those numbers are, those numbers are your assets and liabilities. And when you're looking at that with your insurance agent, talk to your insurance agent, but then talk to your financial advisor, because that consists of your portfolio. That is your money portfolio. Again, I'm going to say, if you get in an accident and you hit a telephone pole and a Hyundai, you are out of money. Everything else is out of pocket. And we don't want you to go back to your financial advisor, your Jessica Weaver, and say, now I need to borrow from my 401k.
Yes.
We don't want you touching your 401k to pay for an automobile. This is so important. People don't realize, and talk to them about having an umbrella policy, because it does not cost a lot of money to have an umbrella policy. And it is probably your greatest insurance protection. I don't care how little assets you have. You can garnish your wages. You can have your house taken away. It is probably the best insurance protection you can get out there for little money. And your insurance agent and your Jessica Weaver will talk to you about that.
Yes. And we'll have Teri's information for everybody with this episode as well. What states do you help out in?
I'm in New Jersey, and I also write for New York and Pennsylvania.
And New York. Okay. Tri-state area as well. And it's shifting the liability from yourself, because no matter what, you have the liability. It's either you take it on or the insurance company.
And it's like having an attorney on retainer rather. It's like having an attorney right on your back seat. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Oh, I agree. Very good point. And Teri, how about your financial trend? What are you seeing happening with women and wealth, women business owners? What's a big thing that you've noticed lately?
So more and more women, thankfully, are getting into the business. It's very different, but there's only 30% of women, 30% in our industry right now, which is really, it's disheartening, but okay, it's up since I started in the business 30 years ago. But again, I'd like to see more women taking on the insurance industry. But we can do better. There's very, very few women at the top here. It's in terms of, the C-suite. Very, very few women. Only 30% of women in the industry. So let's do a better job up there. Guys, come on, we're better than this. But I'd like
what needs to change. How do we really move that dial? It's almost like the pay gap, right? Like how it's taken us years to move pennies. How do we make major changes? What do you think, Teri?
Well, for me, it's a very attractive career move. It wasn't that way back then. It was, when I started, I think there was only 3 women in my whole territory back then when I started. And now, I see more women sitting around the table with us. So yeah, I think it's just talking to more women and getting them more and more involved. However, it's ours. So it's getting more and more women to realize that you can make a career out of it. You can work from home. You can have the flexibility. That's why I got into the job, is for the flexibility. I was able to, when I first started in the career, I was corporate America, and I was raising my 6.5-year-old. And then I decided, well, if I'm going to have another daughter, which they're 6.5 years old, when I had my other daughter, I wanted to be more present because I realized how much time I was missing. And so I said, I'm going to open my own business. And that was time. So I did. I went to all her soccer games. I went to the dismay of my older daughter, who says I missed her whole life growing up. I was able to attend my second daughter's everything, all the games, all the courses, everything. And that's because of this career that I have now. So
it's such an amazing career for women, and we're so good at it. I have the confidence to say that now. We're so good at it.
I think we're the best at it because it's all about emotion and protection. And if I read this, and you can correct me, over 80% of the decisions in the family for financial decisions are made by women. Is that not correct?
Yes. So you're already leading the household.
Correct.
You can now show others. It's also a very challenging one to get into from scratch, right? To get that business to build up recurring revenue as well. So I think finding a path for women where they can really learn from a role model, a mentor that's going to take them in and probably give them opportunities that they wouldn't get, or get them into the room with different people that they wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to get into. It's going to be a huge piece of it. And that's why I love our book proceeds are going to a scholarship. I don't want to just be the scholarship. It's going to be a mentorship where they have opportunities to get involved with all of us at different points of their college career, and then afterwards as they come into the workforce as well for it too. Amazing, Teri. I'm just going to go back to some of my notes that I took on yours. We went through, you started with knowing your weaknesses, right? Constantly learning, embracing learning, delegating, even our weaknesses. How can we delegate or bring somebody in where they love to track the money coming in, the expenses going out, to know what is the traction that I'm getting with my money as well. And something that we'll have to continue this conversation of when is enough? When is it enough?
Yeah.
And that is something that I struggle with too. We're so quick, we get a goal and then we don't even celebrate it. We're just on to the next one. Or we don't even hit the goals because we keep raising the goals.
That's true. That's right.
Higher and higher and higher as well. This is a struggle for women. So we're gonna have to continue this conversation, we'll say, as well.
Yeah, that's true.
But stay with us, ladies. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to go into a meditation on people pleasing and how can we release that. That's a huge cord for us women. So stay tuned. Women are born connectors. Yes, we love to talk. We are comfortable crying around each other. But this is also what makes us real. We embrace being vulnerable with one another, and this dismantles that wall, the barrier that separates us from our clients. We aren't intimidating, we are real and honest. We aren't here to judge you, we are here to guide you. Women seeking their own healing from the traumas of life. We focus on personal growth because if we grow, everyone around us will grow. That's how it works with women. That's how it works at the Women's Wealth Boutique. We bring everyone up with us. I'm grateful for the men in our lives who embrace this quality in us, who are comfortable in their own skin to take a step back so we can shine. I'm so thankful for the blessing of my own husband who lets my pink light shine all over. We work with and support all women in the financial industry at the Women's Wealth Boutique, female advisors, professionals, investors, and clients. Our mission is to guide women to invest their money where their heart is, whether that is in themselves, specialty investments, real estate, their own business, to help women spend where it feels good to them, not to anyone else, and to be who they are meant to be at the Women's Wealth Boutique. All right, we are back here with Teri DiGrande. Here she is, agent owner. She is incredible. We will have all of her information for you, ladies. Reach out to her. She's an expert. She has a plethora of knowledge when it comes to protecting your assets. Thank you, Teri, so much for being with us. Thank you for being part of our anthology book, Financial Trendsetters, and the work that you're doing in the industry. It is just incredible.
Thank you so much, Jess. I so appreciate you and all the support you've given me.
And if you don't mind staying with us, we're going to do a meditation, then we're going to bring you on for one more question. We have somebody special that's going to ask you a question. All right. So this is the time of the show. Well, I encourage everybody to get comfortable in their seats. This is all thanks to our course Lift, which is a 10-week money miracle journey with meditations, prayer work, spiritual journey that really opens up you up to that next level of wealth. We talked about the money buckets earlier in the show, as well as healing the trauma, ending the people pleasing. I'm going to give you a taste of that right now here. So if you're curious, there's a QR code to grab your spot in our course Lift. And with that, sink down into your seat. You can focus your eyes right above your eyebrows in the center of your forehead, your third eye, and slowly let your eyelids close shut as you breathe out. And as you take a deep breath in, feel all this light of safety. When it comes to people pleasing, it's all about safety. Just surround your body. And as you breathe out, just feel the worries, the fear, the stress, everything just melt from your body. And as you take a deep breath in, that safety is just this cocoon that is now surrounding you. And breathe out the negativity. And continue this cycle of breathing until you feel yourself get heavy. Feel the chair beneath you support you. The earth beneath you support you. And feel the center, your power source, your stomach, your gut. Feel this light really shoot down into the ground through to the core of the earth. And then feel from your heart this bright ray of light shooting upward to your North Star, whatever is guiding you. Okay. You know you are so safe in this moment. And I want you to feel in your body where the people-pleasing comes up. Maybe it is your stomach, your power source. If you're people-pleasing, if it's coming up here, it means you are giving other people your power. And this is coming through people-pleasing, over-giving, not having boundaries. Maybe it's your heart. You've been giving your heart out to people that aren't grateful for it. Or your throat chakra. You're letting people take your voice. You're not speaking up enough. You're questioning your voice. You're questioning what you have to say. You're not confident. So feel in there. Feel where it is. You can place your hand on that area of your body. And then we're going to allow whoever is the person that made you start to people please come in. Come to mind. Picture the person or the moment. How old were you? So I'm learning, were you a teen? It was your teenage years. Your teenage years were trying to protect and hide your younger self, like your toddler self. Is it you in your 20s, your teens, your young self? How old were you? And what was going on in this situation? How did you feel in this moment? Did you feel unworthy? Did you feel scared, unsafe, humiliated, embarrassed, ashamed? I want you to see this cord that's connecting you, and that's part of your body, to that person, that moment. See the cord? What does it look like? And I want you to pull this cord out of your body. Rip it out so no roots linger. You rip it out and you send it off with loving kindness. You see it just disappear to a million tiny pieces and leave your body. And you now say to that person, that moment, I thank you. I'm grateful for you, but I'm no longer tied to you. I now release you. I am now connected to God, to the divine. I am safe. I am loved, and I am so worthy. And feel that part of you where you ripped the cord out was empty, and now you're filling it with this beautiful love, this beautiful light. And it fills it, and it extends from that part to all of your body, all through you, down to your feet, up your spine, through your arms to your hands, up to the crown of your head. And now that light is shooting up to your North Star, it's shooting down to Mother Earth, to the core. And you are now free of it, and you are safe. And I want you to tell yourself what you need to hear in this moment. And know this will come to you whenever you need it, whenever you call for it. And now you are healed from feeling the need to people please. Remember, you are worthy. You are enough. You are meant for amazing things. You are meant for the amount of money you cannot even fathom. You're meant for wealth. You are meant to share your special gifts all over this world. You are worthy. And feel all of that in. Take it all in. Take a deep breath in one more time. And release it out. We just did a nice cord release. And now you'll be aware when you feel this need to people please, and you can check yourself and see, why is this coming up? What's going on here? And you can now make a different decision, a different action. And remember, keep building your belief, keep building your faith in you. And you're the biggest piece here. We started with confidence, we're leaving with confidence. You are a badass. You are amazing. You are meant for amazing things. Remember that. And as we end our show today, I'm going to invite Teri for one more question. Teri, we have somebody special who's going to ask it for you. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
What makes you a woman behind the millions?
She desperately wanted her own part of the show. My daughter, Andrea. So Teri, what makes you a woman behind the millions?
I love it. Look at her go. I've been following her on your Facebook feed too. So exciting. Well, Andy, I appreciate the question. So, I mean, I feel I was saying this earlier to Jess. I mean, I'm inspired by all of you ladies that are in the book and in the chapter, and I almost feel not worthy to be here with the women behind the millions. I'm still getting there. I hope to inspire other women to be behind the millions as well. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to get there myself, but sooner or later, we're going to be helping other entrepreneurs to become millionaires as well. And my gift, I think, is to inspire and support other women to become entrepreneurs as well. And I think it's just all in the relationship building and in the passion to do what we do. Honestly, it's really just all about helping people. And it sounds so cliche, truthfully. But if you do have the passion to do what you're doing, it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with why, it just comes with what you're doing for the right reasons. So, and the money will be there. It just comes with your career. So I'm grateful for the question, Andy. I appreciate you, taking the time out of your very busy day, I'm certain.
Thank you, Teri. And I would add to that the willingness to share your story and be vulnerable and to take the risk to do what you love makes you a woman behind the millions, to inspire more women to do that as well. So thank you again, Teri, for being with us on Women Behind the Millions. Another amazing episode with you, one of our financial trendsetters. And with that, we will see you on our next episode of Women Behind the Millions.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, money queens, looking to get your wealth to that next level, 7, 8, 9 figures? Follow us on Instagram at PinkFixMyMoney and at Women's Wealth Boutique for more millionaire money